Libra, welcome to your mid-May 2021 General Tarot Update. It's Raina here. I was just looking at my cards. They're like kind of like all, up. Some are upside down, some are straight up. Oh well, we might have quite a mixture here, but I'm gonna do this anyways. This is for the mid-month period. I hope I said that. See, there you go. Okay. I thought I got like a Empress card in reverse type of situation for you recently. The heart of the matter is the High Priestess. So this is about feeling this certain sense that there's more to meets the eye about a particular situation. And a lot of times this can be, I feel, in the love arena. If somebody's lying to you, for instance. And in this particular case, because I have this in the past position, I don't honestly know why. Oh, this is the Emperor. I thought this was the Empress. Okay. I stand corrected. I thought this was the Empress. I thought this was a hoochie mama in the reverse position. So the Emperor in reverse is going to be a lot different. In particular, this can be a man who is immature, who is irresponsible, and there's something about this person, if you are involved, let's say you're involved romantically with this person, they may have been lying to you, and the cat is out of the bag, or is gradually getting there. Now, the Emperor is connected to the sign of Aries, supposedly. And it's funny because just in my head right now, I was going to say Capricorn, because that's more of what the Emperor represents to me. But I just want to say what the standard connection astrologically with the Emperor is. So either one of those signs, both of those signs are cardinal signs, and you might find yourself gravitating to either one of those signs. So I could see it. But anyway, with the High Priestess, there can be this feeling that this person has been kind of giving you a false story about something. And if this is, this can even be like something to do with this person not separating from their parents. Like they're very controlled, even though they're an adult, to their mother's apron strings, if you will. How that saying goes. So like a mama's boy type of a person, and of course they're not going to tell you the truth, and so they concoct these stories, but really it's because maybe the parents are even influencing them. But certainly it could be somebody who is refusing to be faithful, or if you're connected to this person and they can't keep a job and they keep telling you, oh, yeah, I'm going in for an interview, and it doesn't happen. Now, I always talk about how it could be connected to the person themselves, not just blaming it on an outside person. So if this is you, Libra, if you have these tendencies yourself, and maybe with the High Priestess, you're tuning into the deeper reason for it, because obviously when these things happen, it doesn't make somebody a bad person. If they're irresponsible, there are many reasons why, and sometimes it's self-sabotaging behavior, or sometimes it can simply be that the person is resisting something because they were given excessive responsibilities as a child, and so they kind of never felt like they were able to just relax and have a carefree childhood. And so once they became old enough to be on their own, they kind of rebelled like at a later date, you know. And these things, yeah, a lot of times I do think they're kind of rebellions that people are getting into. The higher message is the Son of Cups, which is the Knight of Cups. This is a card that is connected to an offer of love. I've been getting this card a lot, and to me, I can see when another person treats you, or I'm taking it like as a universal thing because I've been getting this card. When they see, when a person sees the goodness in another person, there is a sense of recognizing that, you know what I mean? Recognizing the good, and that can help the other person really embrace that within themselves. The same thing applies to when somebody points out your faults. And actually, the sad thing is, a lot of times people are much more in tune with their faults than they are with their gifts or the, you know, the good things about themselves. They might be more likely to kind of brush off compliments and things like that. So I would say with this card as a spiritual message that if you feel like you have been irresponsible when it comes to work yourself, and by irresponsible, I don't mean not showing up every day, but just feeling like you're not really pursuing the goals in life that you feel aligned with, then the Knight of Cups can be about following your dream or your dreams, you know, instead of just like follow your bliss. That's what I was going to initially say, and in my book they even say follow your bliss. And the thing is, it's like this is an artistic card, and Libra is ruled by Venus. So some of you are, or maybe a lot of you are artistically inclined. And I notice how often I'm championing creativity. And I think that's because I consider myself a creative person. And I feel like it isn't emphasized very much in life. So I just want to affirm that for people that have kind of been neglecting their gifts and saying, you know, what are you doing? Because even if you're not doing it as a career, just by activating it again, I feel like it can get the ball rolling. And then things just kind of work out. When it comes to relationships, if you're involved with somebody who is not very forthcoming, maybe they are very irresponsible themselves, it can point to other things that are happening in the relationship. And this can be a new love interest that comes into your life, but this person has sensitivity and may feel a lot more like the kind of person you want to be around, or that you want to cultivate a relationship with. What crosses you is the Mother of Wands, which is the Queen of Wands, and this card is, I'm reading this as the reversed card because that's a challenging one, and it's really, in my book, Tarot Plain and Simple, they call it the shadow side of the feminine. And so whether this is something that is triggered because of what you perceive in a partner to be problematic, and so it has triggered you into that role of, kind of castigating the other person, or if this is simply somebody else in your life, maybe it's your own mother, because queens can be mothers. That's why I guess they have that in this deck. They say mothers and fathers for queens and kings. And that, if that's like your mother's influence, maybe, I'm not saying that this is something that you have totally absorbed, but maybe you couldn't help it. If she had something against men and she has kind of, poisoned your mind with animosity towards men in a very subtle way, that's very interesting, because then you can find men who match those expectations. So if she was disappointed in your father, if she thought that he was irresponsible and she just bad-mouthed men to you growing up and made you think that this is how most men are, then you might just expect to find that type of man in your life. If this is you and how you're behaving, it's kind of like what's the thing, like a dynamic. So it means that you lock yourself in this dynamic. When I'm just going to use a woman with a man, because that's what I'm seeing here is when a woman is with a man and she perceives him as irresponsible. Maybe he is irresponsible, and she's like kind of the one who's keeping everything together. It's almost like the mother and the child, and he's the naughty child and you're the sensible one. And that's really something that in a way you set up, because you allow yourself to get really involved with somebody who is like that. Because anybody who, like, if you get married to somebody or you move in with somebody and already that they have a problem keeping a job, that's something that you are really signing up for. I wouldn't be surprised as if in some cases, this person was able to really fool you and you didn't realize the extent of it until you got deeper involved. But the problem is that even in those cases, I still wouldn't think that the two people were dating that long, even if the other person was able to kind of like lie their way, for a long period of time. And sometimes, sometimes this can be like that there's a drinking problem and the person was on the wagon and they were more responsible, and then they went off the rails again, and they might do that back and forth and get their life cleaned up and then go back and do something else. So the thing is like that becomes a trap, the Queen of Wands in reverse, where you feel justified in being angry, but it just leads to acting out this role as more of a mother than a partner, than an equal partner. And that's not what you're trying to accomplish. That's not what you want. So you have to be able to look beyond that and see what kind of relationship that you're looking for. And if you don't have it here, not to try to force that person to become what you want them to be. Either take it or leave it. And if you leave it, just be, gracious. And a lot of Libra people are gracious, but you want to try to make it work. And the problem with that is that you need that other person to do what you want them to do, and that's where it becomes a little tricky. Now it's interesting because I have here as the what is coming in is a Hermit. Now we have the High Priestess and the Hermit, so we have this strong influence that has to do with the spiritual and like soul searching. And so perhaps I think a lot of times for Libra, relationships, because they play such an important part in your life, you have to step back and you have to see how they have negatively impacted you. So if you feel that you are done with a particular relationship, maybe there is a new relationship on the horizon with the Son of Cups or the Knight of Cups, or if you just want to make space for that type of relationship, you have to, really take a good look at what you have been tolerating, why you've been tolerating it, in order to, fully, I was going to say fully process what you need to do. It's hard for me to articulate it, but it's like I feel like in this particular situation, you might, if you are dealing with a relationship that isn't working very well, that you have to accept it as it is, meaning that you're willing to walk away from something if it isn't what you want. The high priestess means that you are perhaps even gaining information that you didn't have before. The outcome is the Eight of Wands. And so it's interesting that in this deck, the Wild Unknown Tarot deck, that they show that strike of lightning, because I think that's a good way of putting it, where it's like something is the catalyst and everything just kind of, gets more sped up, heated up. And this can involve, even like to me, love at first sight. When you sort things out, you may find that there's somebody in your life, namely the Knight of Cups, who is really more appropriate for you than another person was. And maybe another person was someone that you were with for a different reason. So for instance, if this is the father of your child, or this is somebody that you have been with since you were young, but you feel this sense of like growing apart from this individual, and that definitely happens. It's okay, because perhaps that was a season that you needed to be in, and now you're in a different season. And being able to accept that is an important part of the journey. And remember, too, that you have Pluto transing your fourth house of home and family. And this is also the house of childhood. So making those connections from way back and how they have shaped your attitude or attitudes can also be enlightening. So it could be like even an aha moment that is kind of like a catalyst for breaking through to a new, like breaking through inertia, and everything starting to really move. So in any case, that's what I have for you, Libra. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you'd like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.